Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, July 2nd, 2021. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. All storm warnings and watches for Hurricane Elsa have been discontinued for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, said on its Facebook page this evening that an all clear is therefore given and all businesses can resume normal operations. A flood watch is, however, in effect for the island. The SVG Met Office said at 5 p.m. the center of Hurricane Elsa, approximately 180 miles west-northwest of where near 85 miles per hour with higher from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 140 miles. Minimum central pressure was 991 millibars. Sustained winds associated with Elsa, pockets of moderate to heavy showers. System continues to track west-northwest, inches of 50 millimeters with isolated higher amounts are possible. As a result, a flash flood watch is now in effect until 6 a.m. Saturday, July 3rd, 2021. A flash flood watch is issued when conditions are during the watch period. Residents in areas prone to flash flooding and landslides or near rivers and streams are asked to exercise extreme caution. High tide is also expected to produce large waves and dangerous riptides. These Met Services said will create unsafe conditions for small craft operators and fishermen. A high surf advisory and small craft warning are in effect until 12 noon on Sunday, July 4th, 2021. Small craft operators are advised to remain in port. Sea bathers and other users of the sea are advised to stay out of the water. In terms of the damage caused by Hurricane Elsa, it is said to have left a trail of destruction behind, many structural damage to properties with a number of house roofs blown off on the windward side of the island and utility poles downed. In Ovia, the police station, the clinic and the primary school also sustained significant damage to their roofs along with a number of private homes. Other areas where there were reports of damage are in Sandy Bay, Point Village, Cedars, Riley and Belair. The National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, said 12 hurricane shelters were opened, although it did not specify where. However, it noted that some 98 persons were in these shelters. And as Hurricane Elsa formed into a Category 1 hurricane this morning, persons were reported in capital Kingston even after the government yesterday announced a national shutdown. On the radio, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves asked these people to leave immediately before the police intervened.
I regret that this morning that there are several persons turned up despite my warning last evening, turned up this morning to sell at the Kingston market. I'm urging you to leave right away. NEMO has asked the police to assist in having you go to your homes. Please, this hurricane is potentially dangerous. Those who are not in houses which are safe, either the structure of the houses or the location of the houses, please go to your nearest hurricane shelter.
The Prime Minister also cautioned persons who have returned to the red zone unauthorized to be extremely careful.
Those who are in the northern part of St. Vincent, in addition to the problems, the challenges of the rainfall and therefore landslides, because we are in the aftermath of the volcano, lahars would threaten. That is to say, mud flows, particularly at the river valleys, would come down with real speed, and they're dangerous. There's a lot of volcanic material.
Prime Minister,
Fisher folk, please stay on the land. The seas already, the waves are rising, and the waves are going to be raging.
With the passage of Hurricane Elsa, more lahars are expected. So says lead scientist monitoring La Soufrière volcano, Lloyd Lynch, who on radio this morning said that they have received reports of lahars or mud flows in several areas, mainly in the red zone, and these are likely to increase.
An area. So I'd just like to echo the warnings given by the Honorable Prime Minister. Because of the abundance of volcanic debris on the mountain slopes and the heavy precipitation expected during this hurricane season, and in fact during Elsa, we expect several lahars, and with these lahars, the river valleys will be, well, filled with material and water, coming down at tremendous speeds, lots of debris, very erosive. And so people should keep out of these valleys. Stay put, stay home. Don't attempt to cross these river valleys, especially during this season.
As it regards to activity at the volcano, Lynn said that seismicity remains low but could also increase with the heavy rainfall.
That seismicity has remained fairly low. We had 10 events over the last 24 hours, which means that we are back down to the same sort of early June pattern. It's quite likely that with the arrival of the hurricane and high level of precipitation, we may see a slight uptick again. But generally, the pattern of decline of the volcanic activity remains.
The lead monitoring scientist stressed the importance of heeding all warnings issued by the authorities. He said failing to do so could be detrimental and add more stress to the country, which is already facing many challenges.
The country is already under a lot of stress from the dengue and the COVID and the volcanic activity. And this system will certainly impose more stress, particularly if people do not heed the warnings. If you do not heed the warnings, you go out there, you'll get injured. If you do not heed the warnings and do the proper preparation, your homes and properties are more likely to be assailed and, be impacted by the hurricane. So, and this will worsen the economic stress, the socioeconomic stress on the country. So, again, I echo the warnings given by the Honorable Prime Minister.
A wooden house belonging to Evelyn Stevens of Ashburton in the Belair area collapsed this morning due to the high winds brought on by Hurricane Elsa. A huge fig tree that was overhanging the wooden structure broke from its root and fell onto the house, which was flattened. The house was at the time occupied by Patel Gibson, also known as Fireman. He sustained minor injuries to his head, other parts of his body, and lost few of his valuable items. Gibson, who who was trying to move his possessions from the house at the time, explained to one of our reporters on site what exactly transpired.
I was in the house and all I hear BAP! All the time as I look, she lick me straight out the house, break down the house and lick me clean out down in the gutter. I have to call up my national name.
Okay, and what exactly happened while you fell in the gutter?
Well, when I fell in the gutter, I feel like something hit me in my head.
Right now, he have experienced loss, great loss.
Couple clothes and shoes and food stuff and me little jam and me radio and them kind of thing. Me sponge and all them things, me mattress and everything.
Carlton Hope, who is a neighbor of Gibson, explained to our news reporter what he saw.
See, the engineers are now talking about the breathful limb. When the breathful limb, say me guy for breath. By the minute you sit talk, hey, the limb cracking coming on the soup. And Shabal say fireman. Fireman didn't say boy fireman did not have dead already. By the time he so fireman flying and he got there like when the trap bomb in that thing. He speed, he come out there like breeze, and he breeze hit him down and he got there so. So me look to see if he dead. So we see like he stagger. He cut from the finger and he cut in the head. Because a piece of board hit him in the head. And when he dropped down and he got there, boy, you look to see if the man dead. Boy, a miracle. He will live for 1,000 years if he survive. Boy, the man survive.
Several other neighbors, friends and family came out to assist Gibson in clearing the trees off the house so that he can retrieve some of his belongings.
Well, I mean, I see I could be of assistance. Because I have a little machine. I was technically private work and all that, so. I mean, it's not a job, but I just chose to help him. Majority time cut trees. Sometimes I build a little coat pit and all that. All depends. Well, my number is 43 001 74 71.
He man down so, and he put you out and he got so bad down. He look like we're in the bedroom. Listen. He direct report this and I'm man and say, Jesus, ball, God.
Man, boy, you're lucky.
Anyhow, you pick up he man up.
This is a neighborhood thing, and you know, Ashburton is people who love each other. And I'm about to go and assist in whatever way in moving to make sure that fireman get back all that he have inside the crush.
The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank has launched its offering to the digital transaction market with a digital form of its notes and coined currency called DCash. The digital currency, which is currently available in Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, Grenada, and St. Lucia, with 2,100 registered users, has faced some challenges due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has affected its uptake as lockdowns have hampered marketing efforts. Chairperson of the ECCB's FinTech Working Group and Chief Risk Officer, Charmaine Powell, in an interview detailed what DCash is all about and the issues the ECCB hopes to tackle with the introduction of their digital currency.
Cash is a digital version of our EC currency. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank has launched a project whereby we're issuing a digital version of the EC currency. And the motivation behind this project is really to address some key issues in our environment. We want to ensure that the friction that we currently recognize in the payment system can be addressed. Such frictions include the cost of making payments and the time for settlement of payments. Secondly, the whole issue of financial inclusion. We recognize across the region there are a number of persons who are either unbanked or underbanked. Unbanked in the sense that they don't have a bank account, either a commercial bank or a credit union. Underbanked is that where they have accounts, but they're not able to enjoy the full benefits of the financial services given certain restrictions or certain limitations. And so we thought it's important that in this environment where the entire world is moving digital, that every citizen across the ECCU had the opportunity to be part of that digital transformation agenda.
According to Powell, DCash can be accessed through a digital wallet available on the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. There are two types of wallets users can choose from: a registered base wallet for persons with existing bank or credit union accounts, or a value-based wallet for persons who are not registered with a financial institution. Powell detailed how persons can obtain a registered wallet.
So the registered base wallet are for those persons who have an existing relationship with a participating financial institution. So for example, in St. Vincent, we have RBTT, we have Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have a few credit unions as well. So once you have an existing relationship with one of those institutions, you download the app, you select the option, register with a code. You will get a code from the financial institutions where you have your account. And once you enter your information, your name, telephone number, email address, and your account number at that financial institution, that application goes to your bank, and they will now use that to match against your KYC information. They will validate it, and then they will approve your digital wallet. Once you have that done, you can transfer funds from your account to your wallet or vice versa.
The ECCB's Chief Risk Officer also outlined how value-based wallets will be accessed.
Earlier, I spoke about financial inclusion, where we said we wanted all members of the ECCU to have access to DCash. So for that, we created the value-based wallet. This wallet is for persons who don't have an account at any of our participating financial institutions. And so they can now, using the same app, select the option on register without the code. And that would now go to one of our agents. So they have to provide their name, address, telephone number, and a copy of a government-issued ID and a selfie. That goes to the agent, and they approve those value-based wallets. But because of the higher risk, given that the person has no banking relationship, the limits for the value-based wallets are lower, so they can either be $1,000 per month or $2,700 per month limit. Then what they would do, they would take physical cash, whether to an agent or a merchant that offers the exchange services, and they can just hand in physical cash and get the DCash transfer, the equivalent transfer to their wallet.
Powell said persons within the Eastern Caribbean stand to benefit from the use of DCash for a number of reasons, including the lack of fees for transfers and the reduction in the likelihood of monies being lost or stolen.
It's a safer method of payment than using physical cash. We know when you use physical cash, you run the risk of it getting stolen, you can get robbed, whether an individual or business, so it is safer in that regard. It is faster. Transactions done using DCash are completed in 3 to 5 seconds. Compared with, say, a wire transfer or even a debit and credit card payment, it's much faster and it's cheaper. There is no cost for using DCash throughout the pilot. You can add funds to your wallet, you can transfer funds to individuals or businesses, you can make effect transactions at business places, and there's no cost. So for example, merchants currently who take debit or credit cards, they have a fee to pay. A percentage that they have to pay for all credit card or debit card transactions. There is no fee, so it's a savings right there for the merchants. Commercial banks, when they buy physical notes and coins from the ECCB, they have to pay a commission. There is no fee. When they get DCash from the ECCB, there is no fee. So all of us as people of the ECCU stand to benefit from DCash.
Executive Director of the SVG Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Anthony Redisford, said he welcomes the introduction of the digital currency to the shores of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, citing the digital currency as a much-needed disruptor to the way Vincentians conduct business.
And Commerce here in St. Vincent, we've been advocating for the use of digital transactions for quite a while, and we're trying to pick up that tempo. Digital currency, as Sharon pointed out, is very inclusive because their product will bring in the unbanked people, and the ease at which virtual money can change hands does very well for the increase in the transfer of goods and services. DCash specifically, how do I see it panning out? I welcome it. It's potentially a disruptor in the way we do things, and I think disruption is needed. So I am all for working with the central bank and to see what we can do as a chamber to partner with them to help drive their penetration rates and also help us to build the awareness of the need to move into digital transactions.
While Regisford noted that members of the chamber have been slow to the idea of using a digital currency, he said he looks forward to working with the ECCB during the education aspect of their campaign to educate business owners in SVG of the benefits in utilizing the digital currency in their day-to-day transactions. He noted that St. Vincent and the Grenadines ranks the highest in the Eastern Caribbean for cash-based transactions.
My members in the chamber, unfortunately, are, to me, not tuned in enough to the use of digital transactions. And that's some work that I hope that the chamber can do. And I welcome DCash, because I know there's an education piece to this whole pitch to take up on it, because you're going to have to convince people that this is a better way to go. And with that will come the education about managing cash as opposed to money sitting directly into your account. You know, having cash on premises, your auditing procedures, your whole management procedure for having cash reconcile at the end of the day. A lot of those issues are removed when you're in the digital plane.